Doctor Who, Time Lord Victorious, Echo of Extinction, the final piece of Time Lord Victorious, which is weird. I was a little bit concerned that I had to kind of slightly remember the events that happened, because it was a lot. There was a lot of comics, a lot of audiobooks, a lot of novels, a lot of animated shows. So I was a little bit worried about this, because this was the thing that like everything got released, but this was the one that kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, because there was a vinyl release and it had to be on vinyl first before it could go digitally. And it has arrived. It is here, the final piece, which is a Doctor Who story featuring the 8th Doctor, played by Paul Began, and the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant. And what you have here is, like, it's not a crossover. It is not, here comes, here's 8 and 10 teaming up. It's not that. It is essentially two separate stories that have slightly loose ties to each other. And I will say, both of these stories are pretty well done. They're really well written, really well handled. It's interesting not seeing, but at least hearing David Tennant playing the Time Lord Victorious, and it's kind of like the aftermath of All Flesh and Glass, so you can kind of picture that as this is a bit of an epilogue with his Doctor of the events that happen in All Flesh and Glass, which is pretty much the end game, the finale of Time Lord Victorious. And it is two stories that have slightly loose ties to each other. That there's the same villain. It's the whole thing of, like, the 8th Doctor fought this villain, and now the 10th Doctor is facing this villain, but he can't remember what happened in the past because it was during the dark times. But he remembers the Sakura. He remembers the Sakura. See, it's slowly coming back to me. But yeah, I mean, the performance is really well done. Arthur Darvill, who played Roy during the Matt Smith years, he's in this, playing like the, you know how it goes. You got these military type characters, and there's always one a little bit nervous, a little bit shaky, and he's playing that version. And it's just one of those things that's two good standalone stories that slightly have connections, and also you hear the other actors' voices in each other's story, and kind of referencing that it's going to be slightly linked, and it works. It works in that situation. It works in that side of storytelling. It's pretty dang good. The villain itself, it's your typical, like, we are only going to use him twice in the span of the same story, but we're going to use him once, so he's going to be a little bit like, I will be, it's my choice, and I will rule this world, those type of villains. But when it comes to Doctor Who, it is basically not about the villains. It's all about the hero. It's all about the characters. It's all about the Doctor, how he or she reacts and responds to a situation responds to that type of situation. So yeah,